Could Bill Belichick be heading to the Tennessee Titans as their next head coach? That's what we're talking about today because Josina Anderson's latest report suggests that the Titans could be interested in the UNC head coach. Welcome into Titans Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper, and we know that the Titans are looking for a new head coach. I think everybody knows that Mike McCoy is not the answer to the problems. He is just the interim head coach. So once the season's over, that's when the search gets heightened. This is what Josina Anderson had to say about Bill Belichick possibly going back to the NFL. I'm told at least 2 NFL teams are still expected to have interest in talking to Belichick, behind the scenes at the very least, about head coaching jobs in the Carousel season per a league source. So she says at least 2 NFL teams. Well, there are only 2 head coach openings right now. Obviously, there could be some more firings once the season starts, but there's only 2 of them. And we know that one of them is the Tennessee Titans. The other one, well, he's got a lot of ties with them throughout the past history, and that's the New York Giants. So, in my eyes, hearing that report come out this early, it's got to be either one of these 2 teams. And the Titans, we've seen the rumors. I made a video a couple weeks ago how they're interested in Lane Kiffin. So they're not just sticking with the NFL jobs. They're going into college football, seeing what they like throughout every single part of the horizon, what they want their new head coach to be. Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi, they are going to be very, very, very in-depth with this search. And I think that Bill Belichick could be one of them. But before we break it all down and talking about could he come back to the NFL, I'll ask you guys, would you hire Bill Belichick as head coach? Give me an H for hire or give me a P for pass. I will say the interest is extremely interesting because Belichick kind of completely fell off the ropes in his final years with New England. I mean, they were a dumpster fire after Brady left, and then going over to UNC, it's kind of just been, all right, well, he's old. The game has passed him by, but he does not want to coach this team. He does not want to stop coaching at all. And when you look at the resume, I mean, it speaks for itself. I don't have to put that much on there to tell you about Bill Belichick. He was the head coach of the Patriots from 2000 to 2023. Before that, he won 2 Super Bowls with the New York Giants as a defensive coordinator, 6-time Super Bowl champion, took a year off from coaching, and now is the current head coach of the University of North Carolina. But it's kind of like, well, Bill Belichick, how has he done at UNC? Well, not great. Not great at all. He's more like, well, he's just there. He's kind of a joke at UNC. We saw at the beginning of the year all the hype that everybody was like, oh, he's going to bring them back to the heightened. We know all about his past, and he's going to bring it to UNC. And everybody went to the games at first, and now as they're 4-7 going in, not eligible for a bowl game, nobody even cares about the team. They just kind of think of it as a big joke. And when you look at North Carolina's resume, well, you're 13th in the ACC. You got 0 wins versus the top 25, 4-7 record, and your statistics are not good at all. You're not in the top 25 in any offense, defense, special teams, whatever. And then there also comes with the other part of the job, his 24-year-old girlfriend. You got to deal with all the Jordan Hudson drama. Because apparently she controls everything that he does. She tells him what to do. Do you really want to go and hire a head coach that has their life controlled by a 24-year-old? I don't think so. So that can work in college, but will it work in the NFL? I don't think so. I do not think so at all. Yeah, of course, Belichick can be happy all he wants, but do you want to hire somebody where you're already kind of a laughingstock in Tennessee? Do you want to hire somebody that's going to be controlled by a 24-year-old? I don't think Amy Adams Strunk's going to want that either. But Belichick also talked about the offers and the possibility of going back to the NFL, and he completely walked back at it. This is what he had to say when all the Giants rumors came out after they fired Brian Daboll. He said, "It was a privilege for me to work for the Mara family and be a member of Coach Parcells' staff for over a decade." And here's the quote that you should really look into. "However, despite circulating rumors, I have not and will not pursue any NFL head coaching vacancies." I could see that being a complete lie because obviously you want to focus on the team once the offseason starts. If someone gives you a bag of money, you're not going to say no. In my opinion, Belichick would be a gamble. And I wouldn't mind it because of his success in the NFL. But you're not going to deal with the 24-year-old girlfriend. You're not going to deal with everything that comes with hiring Bill Belichick. It's not 2010 anymore. It's like, yeah, he's a good coach. He's going to bring in the defensive mastermind. He's going to get the free agents. No, it's going to be you got to deal with all the other stuff that goes on with Belichick. So, in my opinion, just go for someone else. Find a guy that's a lot younger than 73-year-old Bill Belichick. And there could be someone else in particular. And Josina Anderson, she was not done with talking about reports at all. And we're going to get into that. But first, I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's show, and that is Prize Picks. I love using Prize Picks. I use it every single day. It takes 30 seconds just to make a lineup. You know, that's the holiday season, the best time of sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day on what gifts to buy, what to eat, what game to watch, there is one place where it feels good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. I made a lineup for the Thanksgiving games on Thursday. I got the Moore for Jared Goff. Give me the Moore against Detroit, 239.5 passing yards. Dallas against Kansas City. Give me the Moore for Patrick Mahomes, 267.5 passing yards. And Joe Burrow making his return after a long, long time. He was out with that toe injury. I think he's going to be a little rusty. Give me the less than his passing yards at 255.5. You can download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, speaking of the other head coaching candidate that the Titans could be linked to, Josina Anderson dropped that rumor about Bill Belichick, but she was not done. She also said something about a very, very long-term head coach that could be looking for something else. Here's what she said. There's a long-term NFL head coach out there who's considering wanting a change of scenery and has told others of these thoughts. If he acts on those lingering feelings, his departure could clearly add to the list of vacancies. So the question could be, well, who is this? Well, it's got to be long-term, so you only have a couple of options here of long-term head coaches. And I wrote Andy Reid on one of these options, but do you really think Andy Reid is going to leave Patrick Mahomes? No. You look at these two guys right here, Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh. And John Harbaugh, he's had a little bit of success. He just can't win the big game. But Mike Tomlin is the guy that I'm looking at specifically. I think that it has to be Tomlin, the guy that wants to change the scenery, because he really hasn't done anything in the past couple of years, and there's been rumblings all over. Could he be fired? Could they move on? It could be like that Eagles and Andy Reid situation from 15 years ago where it's like, yeah, he's a great coach, but we just need a change here. And they also, Gary Dolek, who is a huge beat reporter for the Pittsburgh Steelers, on his mailbag, they asked him, so what about these rumblings on the owners, the Rooneys, talking about Mike Tomlin? And this is what they said. Angry is not the word on just how much they haven't been winning. You go 9-8 every single year. Frustrated or impatient would be the better choice. And speaking on behalf of Art Rooney. So they're already getting frustrated and kind of tired of Mike Tomlin as the head coach. But you see the resume. I mean, Super Bowl 43 champion. He did make the Super Bowl a couple years later. 18 straight winning seasons. That's what you get with a head coach. But you haven't won a playoff game since 2016. That's it. You've lost in 2017 and every single other year. So it's kind of time maybe to kind of look in the next direction if you're the Steelers. And for the Titans, I'd bring in Mike Tomlin in a heartbeat. He's not done much lately. He hasn't won much, but he still makes it to the playoffs. He still brings that winning culture to a team that you don't have right now in Tennessee. Mike Vrabel had the culture, and he's gone. You think that Brian Callahan had culture? Absolutely not. If you bring in Mike Tomlin, you're going to get a hard-nosed football coach. You're going to get someone that is going to bring you wins. I'm not going to say Super Bowl, but at least get you to the playoffs and not make you irrelevant like you are right now. So it's something that the Titans could use. And it's something I would rather have than an old man like Bill Belichick. But you go and let me know down in the comments section. Who would you choose as head coach? Would you go Bill Belichick? If so, type your BBs. If you want to go Mike Tomlin, type your MTs. Or if you don't like either, go down in the comments. Just name any head coach that you want the Titans to sign. I still like Mike McCarthy as a possible option, but if I had to choose, if Mike Tomlin becomes available, he should be your number one guy. You let me know down in the comments. And also, hit that sub button. We are on our way to 12,000 subs. So if you want Titans coverage all the time, hit that sub button. And as always, tighten up.